what I think is going on in Moscow and the calculations that are being made there. I honestly don't think a decision has yet been taken, but that doesn't mean that it is impossible that something absolutely disastrous could happen very soon indeed. And our intelligence, I'm afraid to say, remains grim, and we're seeing the massing of huge numbers of tactical battalion groups, tactical groups on the borders of Ukraine, 70 or more. This is probably the most dangerous moment, I would say, in the course of the next few days, in what is the biggest security crisis that Europe has faced for decades. And we've got to get it right. And I think that the combination of sanctions and military resolve plus diplomacy are what is in order. And everybody understands you ask about whether we're at one across the West on sanctions. I think increasingly, actually, we are at one. I believe that if we can keep a strong grip on the fundamentals, those fundamental principles that define our alliance, and combine strong deterrence with patient diplomacy, then we can find a way through this crisis. But I just want to stress that it would be an absolute disaster if it were to come to that, and if there would be serious bloodshed on Ukrainian soil. And I know that people in Russia must be thinking about this too. And I know that in the Kremlin and across Russia, they must be wondering whether it is really sensible to expend the blood of Russian soldiers in a war that I think would be catastrophic and also pointless, tragic, and vastly economically costly to Russia. So we're getting ready we're making military preparations, we're getting ready economic sanctions, but we're also willing to talk. And I think Jens summed it up very well in what he said. There are some things that are non-negotiable. That's the idea of a Europe whole and free. That's the idea that NATO must have an open door policy, that the people of Ukraine must be able to aspire to NATO membership. And then, of course, there are things that it would be sensible to talk about, and things that NATO and the UK, the US, everybody is willing certainly to discuss.
The military adaptation sends a clear signal that Russia has a choice. They can either choose a diplomatic solution, and we are ready to sit down, but if they choose confrontation, they will pay a high price. There will be economic sanctions. There will be increased NATO military presence in the eastern part of the alliance. UK is really an important part of that. Already announced new deployments on top of what UK has already deployed in the eastern part of the alliance. And of course, the Ukrainian army, defense force, is much stronger now than they were in 2014.